District 2, if we could,
Say it again. Assembly District 2.
if we are back with Assembly District 2 for Veterans in Politics interview process. Last time, all of our panel members introduced themselves and their backgrounds. So they're just going to go into the questions once we get to them. What we're going to go ahead and do is give us an elevator pitch, 30, 45 second elevator pitch of who you are, your background, and why you're running for the seat. And if we could start off with the first candidate, and please remember, we do have radio listeners at home, so state your name before every question.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is John Hamburg. A quick synopsis of my background. I have 30 years experience in federal law enforcement. I started my career with the United States Secret Service and worked for several different law enforcement agencies in my 30-year career, the last being Department of Veterans Affairs. I was Assistant Special Agent in Charge for the VA office in Los Angeles, which covered the 11 western states. When my wife and I retired to Las Vegas, I got involved in community activities. I ended up having roughly 32 years with Little League Baseball. I was involved with the Metropolitan Department's Citizens Review Board. I'm currently the chairman of the Nevada Juvenile Justice Commission. Youth issues have been forefront of my civic activities for almost 40 years. I hopefully will survive the primary. I have some tough opponents, but we have to go forward. The state needs some experienced hands. And that's about passing on down the line. Annie.
Annie Black, running for Assembly District 2. I'm a Las Vegas native, a small business owner, commercial real estate. I also am in the process of opening a golf course in Arizona, in the Mojave County Strip. I have 2 children. I live in Picola Ranch, and I'm running basically like every other person who's not a politician, who's just fed up with the way the government's being run. And as a small business owner, I think my background in making a business function will carry over into politics, and that's my spiel.
Thank you, Annie. Excuse me. My name is David Lerner. I'm a candidate for District 2's Assembly seat. I'm a retired senior vice president of what is now J.P. Morgan Chase. 35 years of business experience in finance, systems, auditing. We were responsible for part of the Chrysler bailout, the first Chrysler bailout. And I point that out only because the government, while they supported it, were paid back virtually within a very short period of time. 120,000 jobs were saved, largely through the efforts of a combined group of bankers. So they're not all bad people, to say the least. When I retired for the first time, came out here and became the chief operating officer for a company that deals with low-income housing, and ran a small 12 nursing home set up throughout the United States. As far as the local community affairs that I've been involved with, I was very deeply involved and still am with an organization who has just merged with Help of Southern Nevada called the Courtney Children's Foundation. The work of Courtney was largely to help disadvantaged pregnant teens, and that's one of the major issues of my life, so to speak, because it is unfortunately a situation which is rising, not falling, in certain areas of our state. I'm currently the president of the Clark County Aviation Association, which relates to safety issues and training issues of all of the major and minor general aviation airports within the valley. In addition to that, and one of the things I'm proudest of, believe it or not, is I'm a member of the board of the Canine Therapist Group of Las Vegas, and we actually take our dogs to visit nursing homes, schools, hospitals. Usually with the schools, it's a situation of the kids will read to our dogs, believe it or not. One particular thing stands in mind when we were at one nursing home not too long ago. At the end of a visit with a particular patient, one of the medical people walked up to me and said, "Do you know that that woman has never smiled or said a word in the 3 months she's been here?" And she was talking and smiling up a storm with our dog, not me. I had nothing to do with it. I think that one of the reasons that I'm running, quite frankly, is because I think there's a disconnect right now between our government and the people. There's a tremendous amount of mistrust, and that mistrust, unfortunately, leads people to be very apathetic as to what really concerns them, major problems that concern all of us. And I think that, I guess the major reason why I'm running is to try and restore some of that through and I did pick out a slogan, and it's basically common sense in politics.
As a, Mike Murray, as a firearms trainer, I have great concerns about some of the laws in the state of Nevada. The former chairman of the Judiciary Committee kept a castle doctrine law from going through. And it's one of my pet peeves that I can legally, lawfully defend myself from a vicious attack and yet be sued out of everything I own. And I'd like to know what your comment is about whether or not we should have a castle doctrine law in this state.
John Hamburg. A little over 6 weeks ago, I advised LCB, Legislative Council Bureau, that I will be reissuing and resubmitting AB 288, which was offered last session. It will be reintroduced. A new number, obviously, but it will be reintroduced.
You said you're a small business owner. This is Maria Dunnigan, by the way, and Annie.
Mm-hmm.
So doesn't everyone...
Actually, yes. Actually, the way that it works out is every candidate answers the question from the panel member. So, Annie, you same question. You need to repeat it.
Yeah, what was the question again?
There's a thing called a castle doctrine law, which what it in effect says is if I use my firearm in lawful self-defense and it's judged justifiable, that I cannot be sued by the family or anybody else for doing that. And if there's people that have died because they were so worried about trying to defend themselves, or do I shoot or not shoot, and it cost them.
Annie Black. I actually have a little bit of personal experience with that. My mom had a stalker quite a few years ago, and we had a retired police officer come and stay at the house. And he had actually advised us that if somebody broke into the house and we shot him, it was better for us to drag him outside the house after the fact so that we wouldn't be sued for somebody breaking into our home. I mean, that's not right for a police officer to tell you that. So I would definitely be, all for that. Let's not get people sued over defending themselves. That's not right. So, yeah.
The answer is I agree with John and Annie, but I would point out to you the inequity of the situation that developed in England. If you recall, the gentleman shot a burglar, I believe, and he actually is now serving a sentence in jail. There is no common sense involved in such a thing, and we should be very mindful of the consequences of not being able to protect yourself. So again, I didn't introduce myself, I apologize. David Lerner.